Okay, now we're into the second clip for tissues. And in this clip, we're going to talk about epithelial tissues. And epithelial tissues are very widespread in the body. They're like an outside covering on your body, like your skin. And we find them inside covering areas that have hollow organs, okay? And they have a free surface because of that. They're the major tissue of our glands, okay? Line our body cavities and hollow organs. And one of the specialized features is that they're anchored to a basement membrane. There's just some examples right there, and we'll find them in the lining of our lungs, in the lining of our throat, in our bladder, in our bowel. We're going to talk about all of those. Okay, so again, to go over avascular, A means without, okay, A, without, okay, no blood supply. It is nourished from diffusion because of the connective tissue below, and the cells fit very close together like floor tiles, and they don't have a lot of intercellular material between them. So it makes a very effective barrier, which gives us an important line of defense. The functions include protection, secretion, absorption, excretion, and of course, because of the skin, sensory reception. A good example here. So here's our cell all lined up. There's the basement membrane. This is the free surface here, okay? And down below, connective tissue. Now we haven't talked that much about connective tissue yet, but we will shortly. Some more pictures. Okay. So just to review, they fit together nice and tight so they make sheets or membranes, sort of like a piece of saran, if you will. And they're always have one free surface, which is unattached, meaning that there's an opening on the top. There's not a tissue piled on top of it. They are on the bottom part attached to a basement membrane, which is where the connective tissue is. Avascular, again, remember, means without a blood supply. And the good thing about them is that they regenerate themselves quite quickly and easily. So when you skin your knee, that is easily repaired. So looking in terms of how do we classify them, we classify them according to their layers. Okay, are they simple or stratified? Okay, and simple means one layer, stratified means multi-layered, right? Versus shape. So they can either be, what we've kind of looked at is scale-like, cuboidal, which, oh, that's not a very good cube, sorry. Cuboidal means like a cube, and columnar where they're taller than they are wide. So simple columnar, simple squamous is one layer, and flattened cells, so they're very they're all fit together like floor tiles, and we find these in areas where we need lots of diffusion, like gas exchange in our lungs, or where our capillaries are trying to feed our cells. They are the membranes of body cavities, and they damage quite easily. So again, just there we are, okay, right there. Stratified multi-layer. So what we have in terms of multi-layer, I think I'm going to go to the picture quite shortly. Lots of mitosis happens at the bottom, and that causes the cells to be pushed upwardly constantly. And the primary place we look at this is in our skin. It's also located in our mouth and throat and vagina and anal canal, but keratin is in our skin, okay? And that makes it tough and dry and gives our skin that tough waterproof coating. However, we don't find that in those other areas that we just spoke of. So take a look here at this picture. So here's the basement membrane. Here's all the healthy cells down here, and they're starting to divide and push upward. So you know when you're in the shower and you dry yourself off and you get kind of looks like dirt, that is actually just old skin that you're rubbing off. Okay. The farther they're getting away from their blood supply or their nourishment, they will die. They just don't live that long. Simple columnar, again, remember, one layer, simple, columnar, tall and then they are wide. And the nuclei, when you look at the pictures, they're all sort of located at the same level, closer to the basement membrane. We find these in areas where it lines the uterus and the digestive tract, and they give thickness to tissue protection, functions in terms of secretion. So in our bowel, they're secreting products for us, and often have little microvilli. So remember, those are like little hair-like extensions on top, okay, that will move. Goblet cells are mucus cells. So you can see the need for that in your bowel. So there's a picture. There's a couple of pictures here. So you can see how they're sort of long and their nuclei are all located at the same. Here's a goblet cell. These are the little villi on top that'll help move fluids away to it. And of course the mucus, the goblet cells will create mucus. Simple cuboidal. So cubes, one layer. Okay, centrally located nuclei. These are found in areas where we're going to have secretion and absorption. So the lining of our kidney tubules or our glands. I'll show you some of those in a minute. So there's an example of your kidney tubules, and you can see how cube-shaped looking they are. Again, a basement membrane. This would be connective tissue down here. And that would be where we're at there with our epithelial tissues.